Okay, this is my short video on how to make steel cut oats, or at least how I do it in the Instant Pot. First, you're gonna need steel cut oats. Be sure that you don't buy instant steel cut oats because they are not as nutritious. They're made to cook quickly, but they lose some of the shell on the outside of the steel cut oats that make it good fiber and give it some of the benefits. So this is one of the brands that I buy off Amazon or when they're available. Again, you can see this is not instant. It's probably one of the more expensive ones, but you can get anything from Trader Joe or Safeway, whatever grocery store, as long as it's normal steel cut oats. So the first step is an optional step. I put the Instant Pot on saute, and I saute the oats, brown the oats in butter. So I will show you that first. And on my Instant Pot, at least, there's a specific saute button that will heat the pan up to hot. The amounts that I use are a cup and a half, and I'm just learning this myself because I've switched from like a crock pot, slow cook style, is a cup and a half of steel cut oats and 4.5 cups of water. Some of the other things I use are organic blue agave. I get this at Costco, and it's a sweetener that has a low glycemic index. That's why I use it. Kosher salt and a little bit of vanilla extract, as well as not unsalted butter for the saute part. Okay, the Instant Pot has just said that it's ready for the saute portion. So this is tricky with one hand, but so I get 2 tablespoons of butter. Again, this step is completely optional. Put it in the Instant Pot, melt the butter. Once it's melted already, then I put in a cup and a half of Instant Pot of the oats. Prepare here. Just get them coated with the butter, and essentially what you're doing in this step is toasting the oats. So it's going to change from that kind of light brown to kind of a tan flavor. It's not just the butter. You'll kind of smell the oats as they're toasted. So yeah, I'm coating it with the butter, but then I kind of spread it out so they can get evenly toasted while mixing it around frequently. And this step toasting is 5 minutes. Okay, I've finished the toasting part. It's been 5 minutes. There's definitely more of a nutty smell. It might be hard to see in the video, but the oats are definitely a different color. If you held the original oats up to the previous, you know, they're looking toasted. You can tell they're toasted, and there's kind of a nutty smell coming off the oats. So now I add in the water, which I have pre-measured here. 4.5 cups of water versus the cup and a half of steel cut oats. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the saute off. Cancel. Just for the final steps. So I mix that up in there. As you can see, there's at least plenty of room, but I haven't experimented with increasing the amount of steel cut oats yet because I'm not sure if it can toast as well with more steel cut oats. And so the proportions I follow in the steel cooker are about a teaspoon per cup of steel cut oats. So, you know, this is a cup and a half. So, but I'm switching to kosher salt, trying kosher salt. So maybe a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of vanilla per cup of steel cut oats. So I'll do a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. And I'm also doing a tablespoon per cup of steel cut oats for the agave. So I'll just do that off screen. It's hard with one hand. Okay, so I've sealed the Instant Pot here. So the way I've been doing it is pressure cook, custom high for 10 minutes. And then I do a 10-minute reminder, but essentially I actually want to do that for 20 minutes. Just 10 minutes is the best reminder. You want the steam to naturally release on this particular model, so you want this seal in the seal position, and let that naturally release for 20 minutes because that's where a lot of the cooking starts. I just do start, and then I come back in 30 minutes. And this will make enough for a few days. You don't have to do this, but like maybe 1.2 times a week on average. Okay, the 10 minutes cool down is up, and it's kind of in the keep warm phase for 3 minutes, probably around 7 more minutes. But you can see, like, this is just kind of the way the Instant Pot works for people who haven't used it very much. So this valve is still up, which means you can't open it. So I'm basically waiting for that valve to go down to show that the pressure of the steam inside has gone away. And once that falls down, I can open it, which should be in about 7 minutes. Okay, there we go, 11 minutes. And the valve just popped down, which indicates it can be opened. We'll try this. And yeah, there's quite a bit of water still sitting on top. And I'll mix it momentarily, but that's what it looks like once it's cooked. Mix the water in. So as I've said before, this makes about maybe 5 days. I specifically like to have 230 grams of oatmeal, just so I know exactly how many calories are in it. But if you have about that much, it'll last you about 5 days. If you want more, it'll last less, obviously. But yeah, this is a consistency that you're going to be looking for once it's done. And the toasting will give it more of a chewy, nutty taste quality. Okay, so boom. So there's my 230 grams that I generally have every day, and then I transfer the rest to another like sealable, refrigeratable container. Because it's still very hot in here, you know, this is basic stuff for most people, I guess, but like, just because I also want this video for friends who don't have so much cooking knowledge, I generally let that cool down for like an hour sometimes before I put it in the refrigerator. Otherwise, it'll generate a huge amount of water, like if you seal it up or something like that. So I find it generates less water if you just let it come down closer to room temperature before refrigerating it. As to what I mix into my oatmeal, I always put in cinnamon personally, and blueberries, but you know, you can do that to taste. Also, I put in some granola sometimes, but I try to go easy on that, and I definitely don't do it every day because of the additional calories. But generally, you know, just find whatever you like: cranberries, pumpkin seeds. Some people use oat milk, or even make it with oat milk, which I will try someday, but I don't do that right now. And that is how I make the steel cut oatmeal that I have every day for breakfast. Thought I'd take a second to talk about like storing the oatmeal. I use a glass container like this. You can see I'm on my last portion here. Here's the lid. And what I eat it with, so I always get 230 grams of oatmeal. Toppings I always use are blueberries and cinnamon. optional. Some days most days I don't use this because the added calories, but if I think I can afford the calories, I'll have like 16 to 18 grams of this kind of granola, pumpkin seed stuff, different types of granola. Sometimes I'll just mix in to taste. That's pretty much it. Maybe I'll just quickly show everything after it's made. And here's finally the final product, my heated up oatmeal with just cinnamon and blueberries. I'm not using any granola today because I have plans and not sure if it'll fit in my budget. But anyway, that's just what it looks like. Doesn't look like much, of course, but yeah, I like it. And enough to have it for breakfast every day for the past several years. And that's all.